Hey there, welcome in, my name's Josh, and today we're talking about the difference between concept art and illustration. So this amazing guy called Shadi Safadi made a big splash a few years ago when he made a GDC talk saying that concept art is dead. And at first I believed him. I was in love with Shadi. I loved every single thing that came out of his mouth, and I believed everything he said intrinsically as if God himself had spoken it to me. Like, he was my hero, and I wanted to be just like him when I grew up artistically. Like, Shadi was my goal, and everything he said, I did. I mean, my first video was practically a love letter to the guy. But the problem with this is that it made me lose any and all distinction between concept art and illustration, and they were just kind of this nebulous, like, kind of pseudo-synonyms with each other, and I didn't really have a way to categorize or define them separately. The way Shadi talks, he makes it sound like as if concept art is just a way of creating illustrations quickly. And the problem is it's actually half true, especially with anything photoreal. But the truth is that concept art is much more about design and idea iteration and figuring out what's the best use of company funds in order to invest the best idea that will return the most profit for the company, versus illustration is that next step. Illustration is putting in the effort and the man hours to take something to an absurd level of polish after the design has been finalized and agreed upon. So concept art is like step one, and then illustration is like step two, traditionally anyway. See, but this is where it gets tricky, because with so many new tools like photo bashing and 3D and so many different new techniques that you can do to increase your render speed and your render quality and your design time, like, it speeds up everything while also increasing the output quality, like, to illustration level, especially in a photoreal sense. Like, that line gets really blurred and it's really confusing. So when Shadi says that concept art is dead, all he's saying is that the distinction between what makes an illustrator and what makes a concept artist is getting really, really hard to define, to the point where it doesn't even exist, and concept artists are illustrators and illustrators are concept artists because they can create so many different design iterations and so many different products that look amazing that the jobs are basically blending into one. And again, that's kind of true. That's kind of happening, especially, like at Naughty Dog, especially in the film industry, where the photoreal aesthetic is more real. Now, again, I don't work at Naughty Dog, I don't work in the film industry concept art, but like, just from seeing the quality of, like, look at Eitan's work, like, that he's technically a concept artist at Naughty Dog, but yet these are all super polished, like, I would call them illustrations. So, like, I definitely see where this confusion is coming from. So I keep saying in the photoreal aesthetic, right? Yeah, because using 3D and using photo bashing is easiest applied in a photoreal setting, but if you have something that's more stylized, if you have something like Blizzard or Riot, like, my dream is to work at Riot, so it's like, how much am I expected to know as a concept artist at Riot in terms of rendering skill? Like, I'm not applying to be an illustrator. They have an illustrator position and they have a concept art position. So how much am I expected to be able to render? Like, but yet, because my concepts actually have to look good, right? But yet I'm not applying to be an illustrator, so like, where's that line? And I don't really have an answer to that question, but all I do know is that you do need all three, regardless of what position. You need to be able to have speed, you need to be able to have design skills, you need to be able to have rendering skills. And how you marry those three, I think, is what's going to determine what camp you fall into. If you become more of an illustrator or become more of a concept artist in the traditional sense of the word, especially if you're going for a more stylized medium. If you're going to the film industry or Naughty Dog, whatever, I'm sure that they'll probably get mixed into one, but you still need to know each of those three. You need to know design, you need to know rendering, you need to be able to have, rendering speed. So just continue developing those three. When you think you have those three at an adequate level, just start applying and see what happens. So again, it sounds so simplistic, but don't just get good. It's like, yeah, sorry, like, yeah, you're just gonna have to get good. So yeah, I wanna work at Riot. I don't know where that line is of how much am I supposed to be able to render. It's like, well, I'll find out if I get an interview or not. Like, if I don't get the interview, I guess I have to learn how to render more. Or, as a quick aside, my guy Trent makes a video on this topic over here. Definitely check him out, 10 out of 10. Great resource to continue this conversation. He's been in the industry for 15 years. The guy's a veteran, total hero. Check the guy out. He knows a lot more than me. He's amazing. Definitely watch this for more on this topic. But that's it for this Thoughtful Thursday. Thanks so much for watching. If this video liked you, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment again, help build that community. Helps me out a lot. You guys are great. I'd love to hear your thoughts. For more about me, be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's the most personal, behind the scenes look at who I am as a person. I'm obsessed with stories. I post there all the time. And I also have my Patreon and Discord community. I love it. We're learning, we're growing. It's an amazing time. I have full-length tutorials over there. You can check that out as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see all of you next week.